So women and men are getting divorced all over the place for some of the most stupidest reasons ever. And if you don't believe me, check out just this one example. And I mean, this is just one of plenty of situations like this where this woman, after 10 years of being in a relationship, gets proposed to and rejects it because of the ring.
So let me show y'all something, bro. I just literally proposed. I ain't gonna record you because that's up. Like I just proposed to my girl. So yeah, we've been together. 10 years. Yeah, we've been together for 10 years, and I just proposed to her, and she just sitting here and just looking at the ring. Just sitting here looking at it. In a car, you ain't put no thought into it. You ain't taking me out to dinner or nothing. No type of little setup. Why do it? But flowers, nothing. Just this ring. But and then after 10 years.
And that's just one. That's just one example of plenty of other people and plenty of other men that endure situations and things like this. I think it is ultimately disrespect, y'all. And if I'm being honest, that was a nice ring. And why does marriage in today's time, for some people, why is it based off of a piece of jewelry? I get it. You want something that's really nice, but there's plenty of people out here. Hear me. There's plenty of people out here find themselves in marriages where they do have a big rock on their finger, but they are also in a marriage with a person, a man, who their heart is also a big rock, and they have no emotional intelligence, and they're not thriving emotionally in the marriage, but they are thriving financially. They're thriving with a rock on their finger. But that has nothing to do, ladies and gentlemen. And I would furthermore even say that that's probably the reason why the divorce rates are at such an alarming rate, because of the fact that majority of people are getting and finding themselves in relationships, better yet, marriages, for all the wrong reasons. Let's listen to these gentlemen really break it down and talk about it from a man's perspective of what's happening in regards to should men be spending a lot of money on these rings to get these women to marry them, and is it wrong, and really what marriage is actually about. Check it out.
You're saying 30K, but I'm looking at her because that's what everybody say they want a 1% man. That's what most 1% men gonna do. They gonna look at you. Do you fit what he wants on his arm? So I'm like, 30K, and then I'm listening to why she said it. She's like, yeah, I'm worth it. What makes you worth a wedding ring for 30K when you can take that 30K and put it into whatever investment vehicle, and now you up 140 or 150K? And so a lot of people, especially in our community, that's why we have the highest divorce rate. A lot of people want to get married for the aesthetics, the wedding, the stuff. They're not trying to be married to be married. No. They're not trying to be, they want the show. They want to post, they want to hire the photographer, yes, the videographer to come do the wedding so they can post on Instagram for their friends. And it's like, we seek validation from people who don't care.
If y'all been together, let's say y'all been married for 10 years, and you say, I'm finna,
you finna upgrade.
Starting the wedding, starting a marriage off like that, when you know these days, marriages don't even be making it to 5. Because I done seen it too many times, bro. I didn't have friends that spent 40, 50,000 on their wedding just to get divorced a year and a half later.
Insane.
And they didn't have that.
And the crazy thing about it is that not only do they spend 40, 50,000, because when people hear this is what's wrong with society. It's the Instagram movement. It's the social media movement where people are just faking something until they really make it. It's really not showing you who they really are in real life. So just because you see a nice car, for example, in somebody's driveway, it doesn't mean that they own that car. Probably could be payments on it, probably took out a loan. Just because you see someone with nice clothing on, in today's time, they even let you make payment plans on clothing. So it doesn't even necessarily mean that they own it. Some people purchase things and keep the tag on just to return it within the return window. So it's this deception, if you will, to please people that half the time, majority of us don't even know. You know how crazy that is? So many people spend so much time in their lives trying to please people that they don't even know. And the crazy thing about it when it comes to marriage is, like that gentleman said, he knows people that have spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a ring. But to take it even further, I'll tell you this, that even when they get divorced, the sad thing about it, y'all, is that some people are still making payments on their $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 wedding that they had, and they don't even have a marriage to show for it just a couple years later. Why? It's because the main purpose of why people should be getting married, it's not even understood. Not globally. Not globally. Marriage is bigger than what people really think it is. And marriage isn't just for you and a woman just to be happy and all. It's deeper than that, man. And so many people, we've gotten into a place, a society, if you will, where it's like we're all just following each other, but we're not following each other in the right direction or towards anything good. We're just following trends and things to do and ways to be. So if the world is saying that right now we're in a season where this is how we're going to be, if the world is saying right now that we're in a place where this is the way to dress or this is the way to do it, it's like everyone jumps on this bandwagon. And as of lately, I've seen it happen just so much more. It's always been a thing, but as of lately, I mean generations of generations, people of all different backgrounds, it's like coming together, following these trends at such an alarming rate. It's interesting to me, man. All for show, all for looks. But people, we don't really know what's real. So when the real trying times come up, when you're met with what actually a marriage is, people fail. Because they never knew from the beginning what they were getting themselves into. The only thing they wanted was the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 wedding. That's sad, man. Let's hear what the rest of these gentlemen had to say.
2000, they went in debt to pay for it. Now the wedding is over. The marriage is over, and they still paying for it for 10 years after they ain't even with this person no more. I done seen it happen so many times.
But that's insane. But then it's like, do you really know who you married? Like, cause I mean, if we gonna take it a step further, a lot of people date people just because of the way they look. You ain't thought about his or her mindset.
Nah.
You ain't thought about, can I actually build something sustainable with this person? You like, I like them right now. Okay, are you gonna like them? You might like them in your 20s, but are you gonna like them in your 30s?
Exactly.
That's what really kills when people say, oh,
what do you know about
somebody should know if they want to marry you in a year. Yeah, but I haven't seen you through all seasons of life. I need to see you through I need to see you when you up. I need to see you when you down. I need to see you when you trying to get it together, because now you really know somebody. You know how they are under pressure. You know how they are when shit not going their way, because we both know a lot of people are front runners. It's cool. Hey, we win and we good. But when that trial and tribulation hit, they like, oh, I'm running for the hills. You didn't know that person. Right. And people don't understand. My grandpa was married to the same lady before she died on Valentine's Day of 2020. They was married for what, 37 years?
As people, we don't really know who someone is until they are in a position where they are tested. I saw this a long time ago, a couple months back, where I saw a post that asked me a question, and it took me by surprise. It said, are you really healed? Or have you just been isolated for so long that you haven't been able to face the things that you call yourself healed from? Something to really think about. It's like, are you really healed, or are you just isolated? Some people would say on the believer end, are you really saved, or have you just not been tempted with that sin you said you were delivered from? So it's really something to think about, man. And when you get into this covenant, you want it to be something that you know. You want it to be with a person you know. You want it to be with a person that when they are met with trying times, that there also is a way to handle it, of course, but you want to make sure that they're handling it in the way that they do handle life and the way that they do deal with tough and trying times is a good way. It's easy to do the wedding. It's easy to do the pictures and the post and the things for social media. It's easy to do that, ladies and gentlemen. But if it was easy to do the latter, which is actually building a family, building a relationship, sticking in a marriage, sticking into that covenant, if that part was easy, the divorce rates wouldn't be so high. People wouldn't give up. But it's because there's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of understanding from the beginning. From the beginning. That because a man did not drop enough money on a piece of jewelry, he is not worthy. That's sick. I want us to listen to this other clip Pastor Jack Hibbs, his name is. He's going to explain really God's purpose of marriage. And I want you guys to listen to this. Short clip, but I want you guys to check it out and hear it, because I think the misunderstanding that everyone has when it comes to marriage could be tied up a little bit in this small thing he's going to say about marriage when it comes to men and women and what the ultimate purpose of it is. Check it out.
You can always tell when somebody doesn't love someone else because they're very quick to point out their faults. Husband, wife, listen carefully. Listen, marriage is a great thing. It's God's plan. It's supposed to work in such a way that it's the closest union on the planet before we get to heaven, is the picture of marriage. That's why marriage is so difficult. Any of you engaged? Listen carefully. This is free, no extra charge. God didn't bring her into your life to make you the happiest man on the planet. Well, that's what Hallmark said. She was not created for you. You were not created for her for happiness. You guys were created for one another for holiness. What does that mean? Separation. Separation from the world to one another for God. Listen, if you're single and you have a witness for Jesus, husband or wife to be, either one, when you come together, it's God's plan that both of your impact and influence uniting is even bigger.
Amen.
Not less. But listen, the upside, yeah, is it tough to have a family? Of course it's tough. Is it tough to stay married? Sometimes. You have to fight and defend and protect. But listen, everything that's valuable has got to be, nobody puts a fence around nothing. You put a fence around your home or you get an alarm system. Why? Well, because we have art in our house. Whatever. We've got gold. We've got kids. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. You alarm and you protect what's valuable to you, right? And you'll fight for it. And so we need to fight to love on one another. We need to fight to protect and fight to preserve, because it's not always easy.
Amen. Simple as that, man. And I think a lot of people don't know that. And I think that if people know that going in, that there really is something to fight, there's something to protect, there's something to preserve, there's something to nourish, there's something to grow. I think that since people don't know that going in, the divorce comes up quick, because the only thing that their concern is the piece of jewelry. How big is the house going to be? Those things don't mean anything, man. You have to know by now that there are plenty of people that have big rings, nice jewelry, big houses. But the one reason that people get married, deep down, even if they don't know it, it's not because of jewelry. It's not because of property. It's for love. It's for companionship. It's togetherness, things that Pastor Jack Hibbs was talking about. And people aren't realizing that after time, you got to know. It doesn't matter how big the house is, how big or expensive the jewelry is. What matters is that knowing that this is a sacred covenant between you and another person and God. This is something that cannot be broken. This is something that a price tag on a ring shouldn't be able to break. If a price tag on a ring puts the relationship at question, ladies and gentlemen, we in bad shape.